Hello, this is Vampire, back again for another review of Ninja Magazine. In this issue, we are treated with an awesome fantasy artwork of a cover. You got a castle in flames, a ninja with a crossbow. You know that he was the one that started all the fire. Like I said in the previous magazine review, these ninja magazines have the kind of covers that set the mood and take you into the world of the ninja. The first article is Fighting with a Rope by James Loriega. The Shinobi Nawa is the ninja's rope, and it's explained by none other than James Loriega, a staple author and special consultant for this magazine. It shows some interesting techniques that are similar to what you may have seen Jackie Chan do in a couple of his films. The next article is The Making of the Mystic Ninja by Kirtland C. Peterson. This is a great article that talks about warrior philosophy. It talks about Stephen K. Hayes' concepts on warriorship and mentions Zen, Yin and Yang, and Musashi as well. The next article, Voice of Ninjutsu, Giving Way but Not Giving In by Bud Maelstrom. To me, this was a very strange article. The title implies some kind of advice you would expect for an annoying coworker having to deal with people like that. Yet the actual article just talks about flexibility, muscle control, and how you need to be in shape. So it's all like physical exercise type things. It almost seems like it's secretly implying that you adopt stretching and muscle control in your physical training, and then you try to adopt that concept for your mind in your everyday human-to-human interaction. The next article, Naga Wazza, Throwing Your Enemy for a Loss by Jerry R. Gilbert. I have to admit that I wasn't such a big fan of this article. The first red flag that came up for me was right at the start when it said Aikido and Judo practitioners can never take on a ninjutsu master, nor the weapons that are wielded by a master of the blade. The author was trying to say that throwing isn't the ultimate technique, but it can be useful. Therefore, someone that makes throwing their ultimate move or only focuses on throwing is not going to be successful against a well-rounded opponent or something like that. I have to disagree, because there are those people out there that make throwing their ultimate move, and if you get in a combat situation with them and end up fighting their fight, you're going to have to respect their throwing ability or learn the hard way that throwing techniques can be devastating. So it's just a matter of who could make it, their fight. It's just different ways of approaching, So to say one is better or superior than the other, to me, is just not very classy. So there was also another segment where they were pretty hard on judo, saying that in the 1964 Olympics in Tokyo, Japan, the #1 judo contestant lost to a bigger judo guy from Holland. Also stating that in other martial arts, the larger person wins 9 times out of 10. The display of techniques were fine, and breakdown on the type of throws was cool, but the rest of the article, in my opinion, it was pretty bad. I have a low tolerance for such kind of attitudes. The next article, Anger, the Invisible Enemy by Dave Koss. This article is only 1 page long, but excellent because it talks about the shortcomings of anger and how it's important to control it. Carrying, Drawing, and Sheathing Your Sword by Dr. Masaaki Hatsumi. This is part 2. Of course, any article from Dr. Hatsumi is awesome just because you know the quality is going to be high grade. In this article, he shows body mechanics, sheathing the sword, footwork, and a specific iai technique. The next article, Shokubutsu Shioho, is Life-Saving Plants in Nature's Medicine Chest by David Morgan Brown. The different plants mentioned are comfrey, plantain, nettle, yarrow, garlic, dandelion, fennel, and coltsfoot. I'm not going into any details because there's too much, but basically all of them have multiple uses and benefits, and you could just see how useful knowing this kind of stuff is going to be in wilderness survival situations. Now the next one, Robert Bussey, the bad boy from Nebraska, Makes Good by Keith Jones. This is basically an interview with Robert Bussey. Any ninjutsu enthusiast in the U.S. should be familiar with his work. Back in my high school and early college years, I remember reading his articles, watching his instructional tapes, and training with a guy who actually learned from him in person. This next article, The Survivor's Notebook, the integrated survival system, the 3 must-have kits for the crafty ninja by Jerry Yunkins. Once again, this article shows that wilderness survival skills is a very important part of ninjutsu. He talks about 3 different survival packs. Level 1 is made to support one individual for 12 to 48 hours. Level 2 pack is designed for up to 96 hours, and Level 3 is designed for 10 to 30 days. It basically shows you the contents and how to go about creating such packs. Okay, the next portion is called The Spear of Vengeance, and it is a fiction by Angie Mass. This fiction is set during feudal Japan with the legendary ninja Hattori Hanzo. Growing up in Japan, I read many fiction like this, so it brought back memories for me. Kick Hard, Kick Fast, Kick First, Training the Feet for the Street by Jerry Gilbert. This article talks about how to develop good kicking skills. It covers the usual things such as hip power and synergy of the different body parts, but the unique part is when they introduce the 16 ways for faster feet. This includes many traditional trainings such as the Takageta Tanren, which are specialized clog shoes.